Okay, let's do the BBH button control LED. All we're doing is we have a button, and when I push that button, the LED should go on. The Portenta is going to control what happens when you push the button to cause the LED to go on. Here is a picture of what it's going to look like. And here's the actual code. Now, if you've got the Portenta Pro Community Solutions library, you can just go look up that code. But you know what? Sometimes it's just easy to copy it from the website. Also, copying from the website gets you the newest version if you haven't downloaded the up-to-date one. So let's look at what it's talking about right here. We want to connect the short wire of the LED to a small ohm resistor, connect the resistor to ground. So here's my LED. The short wire is the one that should go to ground. And so this one is now going to go to ground. Well, let's look on our maker site. And if I can get to my actual maker site, at the very bottom I've got the Portenta. The Portenta has ground right there. 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down. I'm actually kind of surprised it doesn't have another ground. Okay, so let's do that. Ground, 1, 2, 3, fourth spot down. And then this one, what my code say? Let's look at this code because it's, this is how it all should look like. That's just a little bit big. There we go. That we've done the ground. And the long wire of the LED, that's the positive side, to the digital output D5. So D5 is right there, D6 is right there, so super easy ones to work with. You can use any of the digitals, you just have to change the code. Now, what else do we have? Oh, back to the code. The code always tells you some information. Connect a button to both D6 and the other end of 3V3. So let's find out. There's D6. Here's 3V3. 1, 2, 3 down. So D6, this end. Now, why do I have a red wire here other than just I had a red wire lying around? The reason for it is that's the wrong connection. We want the ground to go to D6 because D6 is reading. It's doing a digital read. And we want 3V3, 1, 2, 3. So power, that's why it's the red wire, is power is going in here and going out to the Portenta. On this side, I did the red wire because it's the positive side of the LED. But the weird part here is this digital pin is sending electricity out. This digital pin is sending electricity in. And so the Portenta is going to analyze when this is high or has electricity. We want to make this one high. So let's fire it off. Let's you push the button twice to make it start flashing. You go to your code and you check that you're on the right COM port. You flash the code, and while we're flashing the code, let's look at it. All Arduino programs have a setup and a loop. So we're setting up the LED built-in, the green light, to be an output. The green light right now is flashing, but when the program's actually running, we're going to do something with it. D5 is for output. That's this side. D5 is output because it's going to the LED. And D6 is input. Where we go? There's D6. It's input, but it's pulling down, meaning we want it to be 0 unless someone pushes the button. Okay? So that's about all there is to the code. The fact that it says an error is not that big a deal. It just means we're not reading that if we were using the serial monitor, but we're not using the serial monitor. Let's look at the code. If digital read D6, make the LED low. Strangely low on the new boards means it's on, and D5 high. D5 becomes high, it sends electricity to the LED through the resistor. The resistor always needs to be there because LEDs have such small resistance that you could send too much of a current, so you always throw a resistor in. It doesn't really matter how big the resistor is. This is probably as high as you want, 1,000 ohms. You could do it a lot smaller than that. It'll just change the brightness slightly. Anyway, let's see if it works. When you're done, you do whatever you want with maybe more buttons or more programming. But there, that light went on. But this light also, it's hard to see that it's on. See, they're flashing. And so it's not really, massive amounts of programming, but it is an obvious thing that the Portenta is controlling that light goes on, but only when we push the button. You could probably do the same thing with just a battery and a button, but this time it's actually doing computer programming software to make the decision as like a startup for how to do stuff. Anyway, that's it.